Hello, hello, everyone. What is happening? What is going on? We just want to make sure that we are good to go and we are live. Yes, we are. Awesome. Good morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Today, we are going to talk about the three core fundamentals to making money online. And this is very, very important. I have, been doing this for, since 2008. So when you really, what is that, years when you start adding them up? We're talking what, 16, 17 years doing this stuff online. Over that time, I've learned some things that are core and very fundamental to being successful with online marketing. And so we're going to go ahead and dive right into these things. I believe that they're incredibly important. As a matter of fact, they're so fundamental that what I'm going to share with you really is it won't change. It really is not going to change as the years go on, as technology, gets better and better. This is still going to be a fundamental thing that's so crucially important to whether you will make sales online, whether you'll make money online. And while some of the peripherals might change, maybe the tools or whatever, the core fundamentals will not. And that is what I want to focus on today, because if you get the core fundamentals of what it takes to make money online, if you get those core fundamentals, no matter what happens, you'll always be set up for the future. You'll always be in a much better place than if you didn't have these in place. So let's dive into it. We're going to dive into the very first one. And the very first one is, quite frankly, you hear this a lot, but I don't think a lot of people actually define it. They don't really kind of dive into what it really means. And the first one is your own personal philosophy. So you're thinking, well, how does that tie into making money online? It ties into everything that you do. So a very common thing that we hear a lot is mindset, mindset, mindset. Oh, mindset, it's so important. Mindset this, mindset that. And people say that over and over, but they don't really define what it means. And so I'm going to dive into that here and give you three components of that one core fundamental. And we're going to break that down. So personal philosophy, it refers to your mindset and belief system. And that belief system that you have really affects everything that you do. It affects how you show up in your business. It affects how you show up on video. It affects how you show up in your emails. It affects how you show up in every aspect. It shows up when you're, direct messaging somebody about their business, when you're talking to somebody on the phone. Your mindset will play a role in basically everything that you do. Okay, so very, very important to understand this. So the core components, the first core component is personal philosophy, and there's three parts to personal philosophy. Number one, I believe, is faith. If you are a faith-based entrepreneur, that has to play a central role in who you are and what you represent. So faith is very important. So what does that mean? It's really the cornerstone. It's a moral compass. And for me, that has been a large part of my business. It's been the core part of my business ever since I got started. Faith has always been important to me. And it's something that I've always looked to. Now, I've not always been out front with it. And I don't always intend to be. Sometimes I'm just going to share marketing stuff like we are getting into today. But if your faith is a very important part of your life, then it has to be a very important part of your personal philosophy. And that means learning what God wants you to learn, knowing what God wants you to know, and turning to Him and getting guidance from Him in everything that you do. Now, this is a journey. It's not something that you may necessarily, get right away. It takes practice learning to hear from God, and it takes practice learning to seek Him. But I truly believe that the greatest personal development book ever created was the Bible. It's the number one selling book in the entire world. And it's got so much wisdom and knowledge and principle that you can use to apply. So faith is the first part of the personal philosophy that is very important if you are a believer. The second part of the personal philosophy is education. Okay, education is crucially important. So, what do you do to educate yourself on a regular basis? And this is very important because when you educate yourself, and what that means is, getting courses, getting books, audios, things that you listen to that give you different perspectives. There are so many different things that I've learned over the years from listening to a podcast or watching a training video or purchasing a course and going through it. All these things, they've been very, very key to me learning over the years. And again, I've been doing this since 2008 as far as online marketing goes. But I will tell you that that has been such a huge thing, is the education that I dive into. I always invest in myself. It's a never ending process. It will never stop until the day you take your last breath. I have continually invested in myself and in my skills because I believe that it's that important. Because here's what's interesting. When you invest in your own skill sets, when you invest in actually learning something, going out and applying it and getting a result with it, the great thing about that is that that skill will never leave you. It will never leave you. Like, it's there for good. And that's what makes it such a great investment, because once you have the knowledge and you go out there and you actually practice it, what happens is it becomes solidified in your skill sets, and you can draw upon that skill set whenever you want. And you may have only paid one time to learn that skill. That's the beautiful part about it. So that's why people, go to college. That's debatable whether you learn what you really need in college or not, but that's why a lot of people go to college. They want to invest in their education. They want to invest in learning something with the hope that the education they get will produce a result for them. It's the same in your business. If you want to learn and stay on top of things, it's always important to continually invest in your skills, in yourself, that's the best investment you can make. And the third component to the personal philosophy is continual improvement. I believe that if you really want to take your personal development, your personal growth, your personal philosophy to the next level, it's very important to consider hiring a coach or finding somebody to help hold you accountable. And so it's very important to also have continuous improvement where you're focused on continually improving yourself every single day, one little bit at a time. Now, when I say continuous improvement, think of it in one day at a time, building positive habits that I look at it like building a house. If you were to read, let's just say you read one chapter of a book a day, just one chapter. Okay. We can even say that's, if you're a faith-based person, the Bible, one chapter a day. Think about that's 365 days a year. By the end of the year, you will have read 365 chapters. Think about the transformation that could happen in your own mind if you were to do that. Think about that if you're reading a personal development book where you read one chapter a day or 10 pages a day. Think about how many pages you will have read. You can't learn to do something different if you don't have the information in order to make that happen. And it takes discipline and it takes a desire to want to do that, right? So that is the first part, the first fundamental component of successfully making money online. So let's dive into the core fundamental component number 2. And that is, if you really want to make money online, you have to have what I call an irresistible offer. It is crucially, everything focuses on a really, really good offer. I always say you can't outmarket a crappy offer. If you have a bad offer, then you're not going to get the results. And unfortunately, a lot of times people are promoting really crappy offers. You can't outmarket it. So one of the things I've learned over the years of marketing and paying a lot of money in paid ads, I do a lot of paid marketing as well, is that if the marketing or the core offer is not right, then you're not going to get the results that you want. You really have to work on nailing the offer. So there's 3 components to that as well. of having an irresistible offer. So let's dive into that a little bit. First and foremost, you have to do some market research and figure out who your target market is. Now, I cannot begin to tell you how many people that I've talked to over the years that have not figured this out. And it's really kind of crazy that I've watched people over the years that are still doing certain things, but they haven't figured out actually who they're talking to. And one of the things that I believe will really hold you back is not getting crystal clear on who your audience is. And the goal with understanding your audience is not to sell to everybody. Your goal is not to sell to everybody. As a matter of fact, if you try to sell to everybody, you'll sell to nobody. You have to get clear on your audience and who it is that you want to serve. This happens with network marketing. It happens with affiliate marketing, direct sales, you name it, whatever it is. You need to know who your core avatar is. You need to figure that out. Now, in my, this time, especially over the last year or two, AI has become a big thing, especially ChatGPT. And I've actually put together some prompts and some things that can really help you to do that. So, one of the things that I know is that, if you can figure out how to use AI, which is very easy to do, you can create a customer avatar in 60 to 90 seconds. It's not difficult to do. Okay. And then you can refine that and really dive deeper into it. But understanding the market and the problems that they have is so crucially important. If you're in the weight loss niche, what is it that you know that you need to speak to directly? What is it? Like, what is it that helps you to figure out exactly what you need to do? You need to get into the conversation going on in the person's mind. What is it that's keeping them awake at night? Literally, what is it that's keeping them laying in bed at night thinking and they're not able to go to sleep? If you can nail that, if you can figure that out, and you have a product that can solve that problem that they have, then you've got a winning offer. And that's really what it comes down to. So it's very important to understand your market and create that avatar. And then next, again, I kind of alluded to it just a second ago, but when the next part is making sure you have proper alignment. So if you know what the problems of your market is, your perfect avatar, the person that's out there and they're struggling with whatever the problem is, with its weight loss or whatever it is, you need to make sure the product you have is in alignment with that. And if you can get that alignment of the product with the problem and solving the problem, then you got a winning offer. Okay. And the next part of that, of the irresistible offer, so we have the market research, understanding that the avatar, your customer, okay, making sure your product is in alignment with that. And the third component to the irresistible offer is uniqueness. This is so important. Like being unique. What is it? Like if you have, competitors out there and a lot of people, maybe you're in a competitive niche. The question is, how do you stand out from everybody else in the marketplace? Now, depending on your niche, sometimes in your niche, you can actually find niches that are highly underserved. If you can find an underserved niche, then guess what? You can go out there and you can crush it because you're not going to have a lot of noise in that niche. Now, this is something, if you are in a competitive niche, it's still actually pretty easy to stand out. You just need to figure out a way to be unique about it. And here's one of the other things too. With this, I love ChatGPT because ChatGPT is such an amazing brainstorming tool. So if you're struggling to figure out how to be unique, you could go to ChatGPT, say, here's my product, here's this, here's what I've put together, my customer avatar, here's the product. How can I really hit this from a very unique standpoint? And I love doing this, and I've gotten so many great ideas from ChatGPT. So everything that you do in your business, you can use AI to help you brainstorm. And that's what's so helpful today. All right. So that is core component number 2. So first, our core component, fundamental component to making money online is number 1 is our personal philosophy. Okay. Very important is the personal philosophy. We have to get our mindset right. We have to start investing in ourselves and our skills, all those things. Next, we have our irresistible offer. We have to find what are the problems of our market, make sure our product is in alignment with the problems that they have, and then also finding how we can be unique in the marketplace. Very important. And the core fundamental component number 3 of making money online is the customer journey. A lot of times we refer to this as a sales funnel. A sales funnel is something that you create, which is a customer journey. The customer journey is where you take somebody who's brand new or who doesn't know anything about your product or service, and you move through a journey of educating them to where they feel empowered to want to purchase your product. And sales funnels do that, okay? And a sales funnel does not have to be complicated. As a matter of fact, it can be very, very easy to do. Matter of fact, more complicated the funnel, the less sales you're going to get. So you want to keep things simple. And a lot of times people think, a funnel is something that you need to have and it's very complicated, and it's not. A couple pages in a funnel. I've even seen 2-page funnels that do amazingly well. So the key is to keep it simple. But there's 3 aspects to the sales funnel journey as well, the crafting that customer journey. And that is number 1, lead generation, okay? Capturing leads. So part of that is once we have our offer, we need to lead them through the journey. And a lot of times when we are, creating our sales funnel, we have to think of it in terms of how can we take people through a process like a step 1, step 2, step 3 type process. So one of the things I do when I'm putting together my offer is I also think of what is it that I can do to capture a lead. And I always look at the whole offer that you're giving as a pie, okay? And I've used this as an example before, but think of a pie like an apple pie and think of that whole solution as the pie. So your product, everything you're going to offer in that solution is the pie, but what we call a lead magnet or a freebie is a slice of that pie. So you're giving them a little bit of a taste of the overall solution. So for instance, in the sales journey or the customer journey, the first part of that is capturing a lead and having something that you can give them of value or something you can sell them that's very low cost that makes a lot of sense, okay? So that's one part to this whole equation. So you want to give them, nobody wants to just give you their name and email. They want to give you their name and email when they perceive there's some value in it for them. So that's the first and foremost. So capturing leads. And then we go into the next step of the customer journey, and that's the nurture phase. Now, some people down on this, I've actually watched some people kind of bash customer nurturing or lead nurturing. And I don't really understand that, because in order for somebody to purchase from you, they need to know, like, and trust you. And in order to know, like, and trust you, what you're looking for is people that, they get to know you a little bit. They get to feel for you. A lot of people today are very skeptical. So they're skeptical of who they're buying from. So if you really want to, get results, you need to learn how to nurture, and nurturing is very important. So how do you nurture? We use emails, webinars, live videos, different touch points, DMs, messages, phone calls. There's plenty of different ways. Content is an amazing way to nurture existing leads. So that's very important as well. You want to make sure that you do that. But the next part of that is the conversion part. So we have capturing the lead, nurturing the lead, and then also one of the things that we do is we convert. And how do you convert? Now, the end goal is always to convert leads into sales. And you do that by making periodic offers. There's several ways that you can do that. Okay. Learning how to write good emails, learning how to ask the right questions, learning how to do presentations. Okay. These are different ways that you can do that. Now, there's all kinds of systems. There's all kinds of ways that you can do that. But what I have found is the key is asking the right questions. If you know your market well enough and you know the conversation going on in their head, you can then create a customer journey that answers a lot of those questions and in the end gets them to pull out their credit card and purchase from you. Okay, so very, very important. So the three parts, the three components, the three core fundamental components are your personal philosophy. It's so crucial that if you're a person of faith, that faith is first and foremost, that you focus on that. Number two is your education, and then also the continuous development in your personal philosophy. Very, very important. And then the second core component, the fundamental component, is you have to have an irresistible offer, an offer that really, really speaks to solving the problems that your market has. If you can do that, you've got a winning offer. There's three parts to that. Number one, making sure you understand your market, your avatar, what's the conversation going on in their head. The second part is making sure that your product is in alignment with what they need. And the third part of that is being unique in the marketplace. So if your offer is unique, and if you're even promoting an affiliate product, something other people are promoting, one of the great things that you can do to stand out and be unique is offer different types of bonuses that nobody else can offer. Okay, that's one of the great ways to stand out and be unique. And then the third fundamental core component of making money online is the sales funnel and crafting the customer journey. And of course, there's three parts to that: the lead capture, grabbing the lead, getting the lead, having some type like a slice of the pie, let them do that to capture the lead, nurture the lead. Okay, and you do that through, like I said, content is a huge way to do that. Create content regularly, send it out to your list, put it out on social, let people get to know you, feel you, get what you're all about. And then the third part of that is then make periodic offers to that list that are in alignment for the reason that they joined your list or the reason that they follow you. If you get these three core components, these fundamental components right, you can make money online. It's that simple. And it's the same thing. As a matter of fact, there's nothing that I'm sharing here that doesn't work in the offline environment as well. It's pretty much the same thing. Now, you might not use the same tools, the same ways to do that, but in the end, it's still the same layout. So when a lot of people say, will this work for me in my, this type of business? Yes, it will. It will. The principles are all the same. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, do me a favor, comment and let me know. And if you want more tips, tricks, and strategies, make sure you go over to my blog at markharbert.com. I'm putting up blog posts and videos on a regular basis that teach you all the latest marketing strategies, video strategies, how to generate leads, conversion tactics, all those things. I talk about all of that because it's all important. So go ahead, head over there, check it out, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.